Wow, this is a game changer. I cannot believe these VPN speeds on a router of all things. Do you also want to know how I'm getting these insane router speeds? Well, it's all thanks to manual WireGuard connection, so let's talk about it. If you want to skip directly to the setup process, click on the timestamps below. Otherwise, let me explain why this is such a big update and the #1 requested feature. VPNs are one of the best tools to secure and increase your privacy online. Download the app, log in, connect, done. But what if you want to secure every device in your house? Depending on how many computers, phones, TVs, or other devices that you have, it could take a lot of time to set them up. That is why many people choose to set up a VPN on the router instead. Once you do that, securing your devices with a VPN becomes as easy as connecting to your Wi-Fi network. That is all well and good, but for the longest time, the biggest problem with this method was slow internet speeds. This was caused by the fact that you could only use the OpenVPN protocol on your router. And that is where WireGuard comes to save the day. Due to the lightweight nature of WireGuard, it performs extremely well on routers. In my testing, the TP-Link Archer C7 produced 5 times higher speeds compared to OpenVPN. WireGuard has been available in Surfshark apps for a while, and now it's here in manual connection form for routers, Windows, macOS, and Android devices. This video is focused on routers, but if you want to set up WireGuard manually on your other devices, check the description below for links to our tutorial articles. But now, how do you set up WireGuard on your router? First things first, you must know that you will need a router with custom firmware. I recommend using OpenWRT since it's widely supported and it gets frequent updates. To set up WireGuard, you will need OpenWRT version 2102 or later. By the way, if you want a dedicated how-to flashing video for OpenWRT, let us know in the comments below. If you have a compatible router with OpenWRT installed, you can start setting up the manual WireGuard connection. First, go to surfshark.com and log in. On the left side under VPN, select Manual Setup. Then click on Router. On the right side, select WireGuard. For this connection, we will need a pair of public and private keys. You may already have these keys from a previous setup, but if you don't, then we will need to generate them. So select I don't have a key pair and then click on Generate a new key pair. And just like that, you have a new pair of keys. Let's also choose the VPN location we want to connect to. Surfshark offers you a ton of locations, but in my case, I want to connect to Japan. Then click on this button and finally click on Download to get the WireGuard configuration file, which we will use for setting up our router. Now that you have this file, you will need to navigate to your router's control panel. So open up a new tab in your browser and type in your router's default gateway address. If you are using OpenWRT, it will be 192.168.1.1. This will take you to the login screen where you will need to enter your router's admin credentials. After logging in, at the top select System and click on Software. On this page, we can download a special WireGuard package used for setting up the VPN. To make sure that we can find it, first click on Update Lists. You can dismiss this pop-up if you get it. In the search over here, type in WireGuard. Then look for Lucy-app-WireGuard and install it. Next, let's reboot our router. We can do that by clicking on System, followed by Reboot. And then on this page, click on Perform Reboot. After the reboot, refresh the page and log into the OpenWRT router control panel one more time. Now that we have the required package installed, let's set up the WireGuard interface. Start by going to Network and then select Interfaces. Then here at the bottom, click on Add New Interface. Make sure to name it WG0. And for the protocol, select WireGuard VPN. And on the right side, click on Create Interface. Let's now configure this newly created interface. First things first, let's enter the private key which we got from the Surfshark website via the config file. Just copy it and paste it here. Next, we need to enter the IP address for our interface. Once again, this will be in the WireGuard config file. That is all for this tab. Let's now move on to advanced settings. Here, uncheck Use DNS servers advertised by peer and enter Surfshark DNS addresses, which are 162.252.172.57 and 149.154.159.92. Let's now assign a firewall zone. Click on Firewall Settings. Here, select Unspecified, and then in the bottom field, enter VPN. We are nearly done. Let's now head to the Peers tab and click on the Add Peer button. Here, let's fill in the last bit of details, starting with the description. Here, you can enter whatever you like. I'll name it according to the VPN location that I have downloaded, so that would be Japan. Next, enter your public key. Again, just copy it from the WireGuard config file. Then, jumping one step forward to the Allowed IPs field, enter this address, 0.0.0/0. Afterwards, check this box next to Route Allowed IPs. For the endpoint host, enter the location address from the config file. It should end with surfshark.com. And the port is the last 5 numbers on that same address. So for me, it is 51820. Now click on Save here on the bottom right. You will notice that the WG0 interface has 7 pending changes. Click on the Save and Apply button to confirm them. The final step is to configure your VPN zone. For that, go to Network and then select the bottom menu item, Firewall. Here, you will see the various zones on your network. At the bottom, you can see the VPN zone that we created earlier. We need to change the input, output, forward, and masquerading options to match the VAN zone. So in my case, I'll change the input from accept to reject and check the masquerading box here. After doing this, click Save. Now, LAN to VAN zones need to be edited, so click on Edit over here. It is important that you check this box called MSS clamping. Otherwise, you may have issues loading web pages. Then a bit further down in this Allow Forward to Destination Zones section, click on this little arrow and select the VPN zone that we created. Afterwards, click Save and reboot your router. And after all these steps, the VPN is now enabled. To verify that, let's go back to Network and then Interfaces. As you can see, the WG0 interface is indicating packets being sent and received. So our internet traffic is being encrypted and routed via WireGuard VPN connection. You can also verify that your VPN is working by going to surfshark.com/whatismyip. On this page, you should see the protected status. If you don't see that, try double checking your router settings and make sure that you followed all of the steps correctly. Also, if you notice that your VPN is leaking, here's something that you can try. In the Interfaces section, edit your VAN interface. Then go to Advanced Settings. Here, uncheck Use DNS servers advertised by peer and add Surfshark DNS, which are 162.252.172.57 and 149.154.159.92. Then scroll down and click Save. After that, save and apply. And hey, this change should help prevent any DNS leaking. And that'll be all for this video. We know that this update took a long time to arrive, but I hope that it was worth the wait. Remember to subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you next time.